have a good one here, man. So we're going to lean a little bit into where Stephanie White kind of gave up on Caitlin Clark in that first quarter, and I feel like she gave up a little too early on her. As we saw in the second quarter, she went crazy, right? We got some Kelsey Mitchell stuff to talk about, a little defense.
6 points. That's everything the Indiana Fever managed in the entire first quarter on Monday night, their lowest scoring quarter in 8 seasons. They shot 2 of 18 and trailed Phoenix 19-6, and right in the middle of that wreck, Caitlin Clark got pulled. The argument you just heard is simple. Stephanie White went away from her star too soon. So let's actually go to the film and figure out who's right.
Here's a play. Caitlin sees that she's about to get checked out, right? AB gets it. Look, Caitlin don't even want the ball, man. See, this is what happens when you don't believe in your star. Allow her to start cooking. Allow her to play through her mistakes. Allow her to figure it out. This is who you need to be leaning on, as we saw in the second quarter, how she brought everybody back. Look, she don't even want the ball, man. That's demoralizing, dog.
Watch Clark's body language on that bench. The slumped shoulders, the hands on the hips, that's a competitor who knows she just got yanked while she was trying to drag a dead offense uphill. And Clark didn't sugarcoat it later. At halftime, she called the quarter embarrassing. The whole team was a mess. 7 first-quarter turnovers, jumper after jumper clanging off the rim. White's red was that the energy was low and the group had gotten tight, so she went hunting for a different lineup. The counter-argument from the film room is that you don't bench a franchise scorer for one ugly possession. You let her play through it. Hold on to that idea, because it's the entire debate.
And be wide open. Now, Caitlin kind of went to sleep. She got a pillar right here, man. She went to sleep right here. Wide open, DeWanna Bonner. Bang, knocks it down. Now, you're going to see Caitlin. Oh, you think you can hit on me? Look. DB was throwing up the threes, celebrating, and she said, oh, wait. Hold up. Caitlin coming. Hold up. Look, she's so on fire. Look at this. Bang!
And this is the part that makes the second guess look fair. The moment Clark checked back in to open the second quarter, the whole game flipped. 15 points and 4 assists in that frame alone, including 2 makes from beyond 30 feet. Not good threes, logo threes. The kind that bend a defense and wake up a building. This is the version of Caitlin Clark people kept asking about heading into her 3rd pro season. A true 3-level scorer who doesn't just pass you to death, she punishes you from anywhere. The gravity she creates is the engine of everything. Defenders have to overcommit, and the second they do, everyone else eats. That's not hero ball for a highlight reel. That's a star reading that her team needed a jolt and deciding to be the battery herself.
Yes, man, she's coming off the curl, right? She's blowing by K-Cop right here. Boom, she's gone. K-Cop is playing what's your last name defense, right? But you see the help is coming, right? And you're going to have a wide open Hines Allen. So I just want Kelsey Mitchell to see that help coming. Sometimes she believes that she can lay it up over people, and sometimes she gets it done, for sure. But just some of the times, I would like for her to find the player in that corner, man, when somebody is trying to close out on you, when that help defense is coming, especially if they're on the right side.
Now Clark wasn't the only Fever guard who delivered. Kelsey Mitchell finished with 22, 9 of them in a 3rd quarter where Indiana finally pulled away. But the film flags one habit worth cleaning up. Watch Mitchell blow past her defender off the curl. She's one of the quickest guards in the league. Almost nobody stays in front of her. The problem isn't the drive, it's the decision once the help arrives. Too often, she's committed to scoring over a second defender instead of kicking to the shooter waiting wide open in the corner. When the help comes from the strong side, that's a read, not a layup. Make the simple pass, and Indiana had its own breakdowns on the other end, the costliest being a coverage rule every team drills: don't go under screens against shooters. Phoenix has snipers like Kalia Copper who will make you pay, and early on, that's exactly how the Mercury built a 13-point lead.
I can't lie, y'all, this might be my favorite play throughout this entire game. They did this a few times, and with this lineup, this is a dangerous play. Now, mind y'all, I want to point it all out. You have Sophie over here, you have Lexi over here, 2 corner hitters. And I'm like, man, why they don't run this a lot when they have smaller teams or whatnot? Like, even with this team, that's 6'4" on 6'1", right? It's a size mismatch on the floor. But anyway, you're going to see this play happen. Kelsey Mitchell, she sets the screen.
And the criticism of Stephanie White has to cut both ways, because the same coach who got second-guessed for that first quarter hook also drew up the prettiest action of the night. Look at the spacing. two shooters parked in opposite corners, Lexi Hull on one side, Sophie Cunningham on the other. Clark comes off a screen, Aaliyah Boston sets a monster pick, and instead of a predictable ball screen, it flows into a quick skip pass and a Boston roll downhill. When that ball swings, the defense has three problems at once: the roller and two corner snipers it can't afford to leave. That's not luck, that's design, and it points to what this offense should lean into harder. The Clark to Boston pick and roll the team keeps underusing is automatic for a reason, and defenses knowing it's coming hasn't stopped a soul. The best actions in basketball work even when you announce them. So when Indiana committed to real spacing and ball movement, this was a genuinely dangerous offense, and it's a big reason that 13-point hole turned into a comfortable lead.
Okay, stop it. One thing we know is Caitlin Clark can punish a transition. Look at this, man. She is taking off. She gets the board. Look at this. And then she's going to draw this defender up. Oh, she's scrambling. She's like, oh, no, don't shoot it. She's using that gravity, man. Oh, you scared of my shot? Watch what I do with you. I'm getting my size up, using my body. Look at this, man. Hey, man, this is another level with Caitlin Clark, man. She did this in college. I was just waiting for it to come back.
Once Indiana started getting stops, the game was effectively over. Because in the open floor, Caitlin Clark is a problem nobody on Phoenix could solve. Watch her grab the board and go. As she attacks, the defender retreats, terrified of the pull-up, so she weaponizes that fear. A pump fake, a shoulder, and she's at the rim before help can rotate. Defenders guard the shot she's famous for, and she calmly takes the drive they hand her instead. She did exactly this in college, and people spent 2 seasons waiting for it to fully translate. On this night, it was back. But this comeback was not a one-woman show, and that matters. Monique Billings quietly stacked 14 points and 10 rebounds, perfect from the floor, for her first double-double as a member of the Fever and the 18th of a 9-year career. Off the bench, Raven Johnson came in and changed the temperature, pushing the pace and bringing the energy Indiana badly lacked after that flat start. That's how you erase a 13-point deficit. Your star bends the defense, your role players knock down the open looks, and your bench brings the juice.
24, man. When players can't beat you, they start playing dirty to beat you, right? Literally beat you. And you got to see, I don't care who's at this ball first. There's no reason AT should throw an elbow, dog. Look at this. Why is that elbow being thrown? Come on, man. That's a dirty play right there. AT, you're playing dirty. They called the foul on.
But this one did not end quietly, and you could feel it building. By the fourth quarter, this had turned into one of the chippiest games of the Fever season, and there's history baked in. Duwana Bonner spent a brief, awkward stretch on Indiana's roster last year before leaving and landing in Phoenix, and that edge spilled out onto the floor. The film you just watched reads that loose ball scramble as a cheap shot, an elbow thrown when nobody needed to throw one. Whatever the intent, the officials clearly felt the heat, because what followed was a flurry. 6 technical fouls handed out between the two teams in that stretch. Myisha Hines-Allen got ejected after a second technical for shoving Alyssa Thomas. And Clark and Bonner exchanged words after Clark fouled her early in the period. Clark clapped her hands after the whistle, picked up a technical for it, her 5th of the season, and afterward called the call ridiculous. One more thing the film caught, and I'll flag it without overstating it. Late in the game, Clark took a shot to the ankle and appeared to come up limping for a beat. She stayed in, there's been no indication it's serious, and given the injury questions that have trailed her this season, it's a moment you note and move past, not panic over.
On the sideline, watch this. Look, she missed both of them, so she gonna do it again. Watch this. She missed both of them. Look, watch Kayla. Hey, man, Caitlin is petty, dog. I wouldn't have taken her out with the 4 fouls. Leave her in, make sure this game is over with, and then, we go home with the victory.
So let's bring this all the way back to where we started, because the entire night is really one argument with 2 reasonable sides. The film's position is the one you've heard throughout. You don't give up on a generational scorer in the first quarter, and you certainly don't pull her late with 4 fouls when the game is right there to be closed. The logic is that stars solve problems in real time. Even Clark's misses in that first quarter were information. She was probing, drawing contact, testing the coverage, bench her, and you throw all of that away. And the receipts back it up, because the instant she returned, she poured in 15 in a quarter and personally rerouted the game. But the honest other side of this deserves real weight. Stephanie White didn't pull Clark out of spite. She pulled the plug on a lineup that had scored 6 points in 10 minutes and looked, by her own description, tight. White's job is the scoreboard, and the scoreboard demanded a change. On Clark's fourth quarter fouls, White kept it short. She's got to be aware. That's not a coach throwing her star under the bus. That's a coach saying a player this valuable can't keep handing officials easy decisions in a one-possession game. And critically, the move worked. Indiana won by 9. This is not the story of a coach losing a game. It's a debate about process inside a win. The technical situation is its own conversation, and it's a real one. Clark got whistled for clapping after a foul call. She called it ridiculous, then delivered the line of the night, joking that the league might as well circle a date on the calendar now for the game she's destined to get suspended for, since apparently clapping counts. It's funny, it's pointed, and it taps into a frustration a lot of fans genuinely share about how she gets officiated. But it's also her 5th technical of the year, and that math matters. 8 triggers an automatic 1-game suspension. For a team this dependent on her, that's not a punchline. That's an availability risk worth taking seriously. Step back, and the bigger picture explains the temperature around this group. Indiana entered the season with championship expectations after an aggressive offseason and Clark's rise into one of the biggest names in all of sports. Instead, it's been up and down. They reeled off a 4-game winning streak, then dropped 2 straight to Atlanta right before this. There's been steady chatter about whether Clark and White are fully on the same page, fueled by a viral sideline exchange earlier in the year. I'd pump the brakes on the soap opera version, though. It's speculation, and Kelsey Mitchell, who's actually inside that locker room, has flatly described those moments as the normal friction of a team that's desperate to win. Sometimes a heated bench conversation is just 2 competitive people who hate losing. What this game actually proved is more useful than any drama. When Indiana moves the ball, spaces the floor with shooters in both corners, and turns Clark loose as a downhill 3-level threat, they're one of the toughest offenses in the league to handle. The blueprint is sitting right there on the film. The problem was never talent or scheme. It's the slow starts and the consistency. A 6-point first quarter that nearly cost them against a Mercury team sitting at 5-13. And the defense still has to be addressed. They surrendered 19 in a single quarter, and even Clark pointed afterward to defense as the thing that needs to improve. Win or not, that's the next item on the list. They sit at 10-7 now, 7-3 at home, and they get Phoenix again in a rematch in just a couple of days, with all of this bad blood still fresh. So here's the question this entire game was built around, and you actually have to choose. If you're Stephanie White and your franchise player is carrying 4 fouls in a tight fourth quarter of a game you cannot afford to lose, do you trust her to stay disciplined and leave her out there to finish it? Or do you protect her, protect the lead, and lean on your bench? The film says, ride your star, no hesitation. White's instinct was caution. One of them is right. Tell me which side you're on in the comments, and be specific about why, because this exact decision is going to come up again before this season is over. I'll see you on the next one.